Thickosaurus Podcast.
Welcome back to the Thickosaurus Podcast. This is going to be episode 57, and this is your host, Anna.
Michelle.
Molly.
And Melissa.
Sorry.
Melissa.
It just...
Melissa.
I wanted to... No, she goes, and Melissa. Like,
She goes,
Yeah.
she tilts her head to the right.
does she? I don't look at her tilt her head.
Yeah, she
Do I
does.
really tilt my head?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see
Oh.
that.
I didn't realize I did that.
Yeah.
And Melissa.
And then when she's host, she goes to the left.
Because she has to
Did
look at us.
Do I really?
Now,
Oh, damn,
now
I didn't know
everybody's
that.
got to go back and rewind it.
You know, I gotta go watch it now. I didn't realize that.
Well, it may be mirrored,
But
She still tilts her head.
but she still tilts her head.
Okay, so for today's episode, I just wanted to loosely talk about forgiveness and what it means because these past few weeks, your girl has been on a self-healing journey too. And I've been wanting to be here forever. And I just wanted to kind of dig deep into it. It's just another one of those like taboo topics almost too. Because a lot of people in our community, when they don't like someone, they're just kind of like cut it off. Or like there's no communication. We kind of just, leave it be. So anyway, we're going to start off. I kind of want to loosely just talk about this article I found from the Calm app. Not sponsored, but would love to be sponsored. I love the Calm app. It's free and you can pay for a subscription, and there's meditations that are free. Also, they have sleep stories on there. I like the one that has Jonathan Bailey in it.
Oh yeah, isn't it the celebrities read?
They read it. Jonathan Bailey. You know who that is?
isn't that Bridgerton?
Uh-huh.
Anthony?
Yeah. No, he is so sweet. His voice is sweet.
She
And
started licking her teeth.
Yeah, that's what we were saying too.
You would think it would be the lips, but it was
no,
teeth.
he was so sweet in the sleep story. I'm going to go off topic a little bit. Because the story he reads is about a man that writes love letters to his wife.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's just sweet. And he goes on a journey, and he just, like, basically writes all these letters while he's on his journey or / adventure. Mm-hmm. And it's all about addressing to his wife or his love. Mm-hmm. So it's sweet. And then I'm like, yes, I know I'm your love. And then I go to sleep. Yeah. Anyway, I never make it to the end because I actually fall asleep.
Oh. I'd be too invested. I'd be like wide awake.
Oh my God.
I'd be too invested.
It's the opposite.
I know.
Maybe you need to find one with a monotone voice. Would that make you go to sleep? And not his voice?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, so the Calm app is really good, and luckily for me, my workplace, they can give you a paid yearly subscription. So I just use that, and sometimes when I have free time, I meditate. Otherwise, I listen to Jonathan Bailey basically sing me to sleep because I'm the love of his life and also the bane of his existence. I'm loving this right now. Okay, so back on to the topic today.
Sorry, us two in the middle haven't watched Bridgerton all the way, so we haven't. Yeah,
You guys need to watch it. Oh, I
only
love
see like scenes from like TikTok.
Season 3 is coming out
So
so
basically,
fast.
I've already figured out what it's about.
Poland. Okay, anyway.
okay.
Anyways.
So back to the topic, like I said earlier. I want to talk about forgiveness, and we're going to start off with what the definition is because I feel like you guys are able to give the cultural aspect of the religious, like Christianity side of forgiveness and what it means. So I was going to just go ahead and give like the textbook definition, and it is it's actually to forgive. To forgive, the definition of that is to cease to feel... I hate these definitions. To cease to feel resentment. And in parentheses, against an offender. So it's like to not feel resentment anymore, basically. So that's the textbook definition of forgiveness / So I wanted to ask you guys about this. What? Is this something in my teeth?
No, when you said forgiveness, all I thought was VeggieTales of Jonah. Because they talk about forgiveness there.
Oh. Yeah. And I wanted to kind of ask if you guys can collectively, like, just maybe like a couple words what forgiveness is from the religious side, because I feel like you guys, even though we're all Hmong here, you guys have a different perspective on forgiveness, and you were kind of raised a little differently on it. So. Melissa's like, forgive who? I forgive no one. They're either dead to me or a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
Ew. That was right.
You know, we were always taught about the word like forgiveness and stuff like that, but we were never
Actually use it.
shown or
yeah.
taught like how
Uh-huh.
to forgive.
Girl, I'm about to blow your world. I'm about to blow your
I
mind
feel
right now
like-
because I'm gonna do it.
Because it's almost like, even though we were raised religiously or whatever,
Yes.
the Hmong culture is still like very heavy on us.
Uh-huh.
And that's because, you know, because of our parents, even though they really want to be like fully Christian, the Hmong culture is still like very heavily there. Mm-hmm. Because again, our parents didn't really teach us exactly what it is or how to do it.
Okay.
It's more like they mentioned it that forgiveness is there. And
Like you're supposed to.
Like you're supposed to do it.
Let's see what let's
Go ahead. She
I was
like she's
gonna
about to bust or there.
I was gonna say I'm so toxic. I'm like, are you forgiving me or are you just trying to sweep it under the rug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
that's-
exactly what it is. 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember when
Is it really forgiveness or are you
Yeah.
just trying to like?
Forget it, and then so you can help me later.
Yeah,
Kinda
they're always saying forgive
So-
and forget.
Yeah,
but
so
really,
fucking
it's not
toxic.
that. It's more of just forget it because
Well, forgive or forget. That's the episode title of this.
okay.
Right here.
Because again, when you had brought up this idea of your topic the other day, I was just like, I've never really 100% understood what forgiving a person meant.
Oh, I'm about to blow your mind. I'm
You
about
know?
to do that today.
Yeah. So for us, I don't think we ever quite understood.
Okay.
I
It was more of
didn't-
just forgetting and, like Liz said, sweeping
Yeah.
it under
Yeah,
the
I
Sweeping
didn't
it under the
really
rug.
see that forgiving that often.
Yeah, that too.
So
That's
I
fair.
never really understood what that actually was.
That's okay.
Okay.
We'll go through it today because I just thought about that because kind of like when you're on your self-healing journey, a lot of things hit you like a ton of bricks, and you're just kind of like, dang, you have I personally can attest to my own experience that I have a lot of bitterness and anger issues. And I'm like,
Same.
what is going on? And I have to move on from it, right?
Yeah.
So I just thought about this the other day. Like I said, talking to Michelle and like, oh yeah, I want to talk about forgiveness because I'm just mad and have nothing to do with all this fire. So anyway, to move on, just to explain a little bit about forgiving. A lot of people think that forgiving is you're doing it for that person, but it's really about inner peace.
Right.
So this article that I found from 2023, it was actually reviewed by, I forgot his name, I didn't write it down, but it's someone that does have credentials in the mental health field. He has like a doctorate degree, so. But I'm like an old person, so hopefully that wasn't fake. Anyway. So it's all about just explaining, like forgiving is finding inner peace and making it better for you. So that way you're not, stuck on the whole like bitterness and anger, frustration. So the forgiving is for you, not for the other person, for you. So when I went through this article, a lot of it was just kind of repeating that, like, this is for you, and forgiving is just going to basically improve your overall well-being. So I was just kind of like, okay, I get it. So looking through this article, I was like, all right, so yeah, I get it. That's what forgiveness is, but why? Right? Okay, like, why should we forgive? Are we going to forgive? Like, just because, or can we just, like, move on and leave it alone? First of all, if you decide you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if I should give this person, for, like, not paying me back, for, like, lending them money or whatever it is to be, that you're just angry at them. Forgiving overall it's overwhelming, but you should forgive. Like, if you're not sure about forgiving someone, is because you should weigh out the options of why forgiving would be better, and that would be that you're gonna promote your mental health and you can lower your stress levels. Some of this I was reading, I was just kind of like, that makes sense now, because I'm a lot more mellow and I'm not so angry anymore. So
Okay.
if you're still tottering, you're like, I don't want to forgive them because I don't want to be the weak one that forgives. Also, that's what they say, that in this article, forgiving is seen as a sign of weakness, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually the opposite, because you're doing this to better yourself. So that, it sounds so selfish, I'm saying that, but it does help you, because then you're not stressed out anymore. If you're holding on to a lot of resentment, then basically all that does is you have a lot of anger, like I was saying earlier, and then you have a lot of hostility, and you're just kind of like stressed all the time, and basically you're giving yourself a lot of health issues.
That's me. Keep going.
Yeah. Because when you're stressed and you're holding on to all that bitterness, then you actually can cause a lot of like inflammation to your body, which basically inflammation related illnesses are like heart disease and cancer, which makes sense because they're all stress induced. And this one kind of made me like laugh, cry. They said that, just wait until I tell you. Because you're so stressed out about all that stuff, then you basically live in an environment, a hostile environment, all like majority of the time. You know, you're always in your fight or flight
Right.
mode, and you can't really like relax. This can over time cause cognitive impairment. So like it will actually leave damage on your brain, basically, because it's leaving cognitive impairment.
So does that mean like it can cause like early dementia type of thing?
No, I think it's just like it's more like damage to your brain, because like you're so stressed out that it will actually change how your brain functions. I forgot what it is, but I saw it online. They were comparing the brain scans. This is off topic but related. Of a healthy person and then one with like stress, and you can see the dark spots where all the stress is, and it like impairs them.
Oh, I think I've seen something like that before too.
Yeah.
But
So you can't make any rational decisions because you're just thinking about, you know, like that person, or like you're just stressed out all the time.
Yeah, your brain is constantly like,
Yeah, basically. Oh, just like your little one. That's why I say I don't want him to play games anymore. His hands were all sweaty and he was playing games, and I was like, that's enough.
yeah.
Yeah, or be like, go, you gotta go, you gotta go. He's like, no, I scare, no. And he'll like seriously just freeze
Yeah.
throughout the game. And I'm like, okay, give me the remote.
Yeah.
Give me the controller, you're done.
That's too much.
Yeah, no more.
So I don't think it's anything about like early onset dementia. I think it's just that it does like leave damage to our brain and how it functions. Because I thought about it a lot in my past, how I was just kind of like, remember at the beginning of this episode when we first started, a lot of the things that I was like always concerned about was I don't know what I like, I don't know all this stuff. And then I've come to the realization that the reason why I don't know any of that stuff, like what my favorite food, my favorite color, or anything related to social skills, basically, was because I was so stuck in my own hostile environment that I couldn't even think. So this makes sense that it would impair your cognitive functioning. So you'll kind of just be like,
what?
You know, like you're not there. You're not in the moment too. So that's why I said it made me laugh, cry, because I was like, oh, so we're basically like, not choosing, but we're basically in our own poison. We're sitting in our own poison when we're not forgiving. We're not willing to forgive, because if we,
It's like this saying, you drinking the poison hoping to kill the other person.
yes, exactly.
It's like the TikTok where he's like, he poured the poison in it. He's all.
That's so sneaky too.
And then he's all.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly
It's the
it.
same concept too. Same analogy. So, forgiving is beneficial, and I hope that everybody decides to do it because you can help your overall body health and your mental health if you're, actually concerned about your brain, because I am. Because your brain is so important. It also,
Hang on. Is forgiving also
Yeah.
again, like I said, we don't know exactly what it is or
Uh-huh.
means, but it's kind of like if not forgiving, like what if we feel pity for the other party? Is that the same thing?
No, I don't think so. In my thinking, because the whole concept of forgiving, what I learned about this is, and what my own personal experience is, that you're not pitying them. You're like, okay, good for you, but I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Because the whole concept of forgiving is, you realize what the poison is, right, and you know what it is that's making you bad, and then you found the cure, and now you're healed, and let's move on. So you're not trying. I don't think that it's pitying.
Oh, 'cause
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a certain person, and it's like I know why they lashed out and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I don't really forgive them. It's more, or at least I don't think so. I feel more of like pity towards them because it's kind of like, oh, I know why you're acting that way, so I'm just gonna leave you be.
Well, that leads to my next part, actually,
Oh,
because they talk about how to forgive. And there are certain situations where, because we talk about the 4 R's of forgiving, and then there's also eight steps to forgiving if you need kind of like a guideline. So, and majority of it is, so you got part of it, right? You do have to, if you're able to, of course, you would need to lead with compassion. And you did already, because you already said that. I don't think you feel pity. I think you feel empathy.
Yeah, it's like I don't think that's pity.
Oh, okay.
Pity is like, I feel sorry for you, bitch.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was so aggressive. Pity is like that. That's how I differentiate it. This is how Anna differentiates
Pity.
pity, okay? Which is pity / sympathy for, basically. You're kind of like, I feel sorry for you, bitch. And then empathy is, oh no, you feel bad? I feel bad too. Let me help you. It's kind of like that. Or
But
not really helping.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, well, what if I don't want to help them?
It's more of like, you feel bad? Oh, I understand how you feel bad.
Pity.
It's
Yeah.
empathy. Yeah. You got something to share with the class?
Oh. I was saying, you feel bad? I feel bad too. Bitch.
Yeah.
I was waiting for her to say something.
No, but it's not like that.
I know.
Empathy is really like, you feel bad. I can understand how you feel bad.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I was just waiting for you to say something like that. It looked like you were about to.
Bitch. There. Feel better? Anyway, people just talk about that terminology. I don't know what to do. So we're talking about the 4 R's of forgiving. And I don't know where this is from. Like a boomer, I just know that it was from Calm, and I believe that this should be credible, but if not, I apologize in advance. So the 4 R's of forgiving is responsibility, remorse, restoration, and renewal. Again, remember, the main thing about forgiving is you want to basically learn to move on from it, and then, that way it doesn't weigh you down. Okay? This sounds like it relates to another episode we just talked, or you just did.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so the first R, responsibility. If applicable, you would take responsibility for, like, if you know that whatever it was that you had an issue with, or like an argument with that person, if you're able to, and you know that you're at fault, and you'd want to take responsibility over it. And that's if like it wasn't like an innocent thing. It wasn't like something really bad or serious. So if you're able to, and it was just like an argument over like something simple, then take responsibility for it. Again, you want to come from a place of compassion, because you're not trying to say, I guess I'm sorry, but you're stupid. It's not coming from that way. I'm saying that because Liz thinks that way, and that's not what you're supposed to do, okay?
Okay, Aquarius.
You can keep it to yourself, just don't say it out loud, because I know you can't.
I keep it to myself a lot.
So that's the first R, which is responsibility. And then the second R is remorse. So you know, you gotta, a lot of this is like asking yourself, and if you need help, then lean on your support system, because that's the one that you probably already shit talk with, because you can't stand that person or whatever hurt that you went through. So, you know, if you need to, you can talk to, kind of like what I'm doing right now, you know, talk about it with your friends and kind of see what you can do to move on. So the second R word, the second R of forgiving is remorse, and is there room for you to feel any remorse? Like, ask yourself those self-reflecting questions. You know, do you think that whatever it is that happened, do you feel bad for what happened, like what you said, how things played out? And again, this is coming from a place that is not like severe. So, and I can explain about that a little bit later, because, but basically, is there room, you know?
Yeah.
And then the next one is restoration. And then, like I said earlier, you know, you want to apologize if you reflected back on the, you know, argument or whatever that you had, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or I should have went about it this way, and make sure like you admit to fault and basically communicate. And then the last R is forgiving is renewal. And you want to, in the end, move forward so that way you don't have any resentment. And kind of like in our previous episode where Michelle talked about grief, where it's not linear, it will just, that's kind of similar to forgiving. You'll also have waves to it. And so, you know, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I forgive her. I hope she does well. Oh, that stupid bitch. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do well, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's going to happen. You're only human. That's the main theme here. You're only human, but let's make it to where you're not going to hold on to so much of it.
Yeah.
Any questions about the R's?
No. This is from the person who is asking for forgiveness and the person who is going to forgive.
The person who is going to forgive.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, because remember, it's for you. It's not for the other person. So if you're asking for them to forgive you, that's a different story.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have to come about it themselves. I mean, maybe if you're in that situation where you want them to forgive you, then maybe you have to probably do some self-reflecting and to give them space, you know, because they have to come at it at their own pace. You can't force them to forgive you. Yeah. Now, we were like, Anna, you talked about forgiveness and you talk about the 4 R's, but how do I actually forgive? Well, that was a good question. I will answer for you.
She's talking to herself.
I know.
Okay. The first step is kind of like when I was explaining about what the 4 R's of forgiveness are. And that was just to kind of understand the whole concept of forgiving. The first step is acknowledge the situation and ask your questions. We have this thing where in couples therapy that I'm in, that, I mean, it sounds really like mushy and like cringy, but if you're emotionally triggered and your body is irregulated and you're too mad right now, then you maybe need to take some deep breathing, you know, like how angry you are from that.
I learned that from Bluey.
Yeah.
Bluey? Yeah,
Yeah.
I learned it from Bluey. I had to use it at work one time,
Yes.
and it really worked.
Because you're regulating your nervous system. And
Right.
Basically, when you acknowledge what happened and you ask yourself, like, why did it come out this way? Or maybe, you know, should I have said it this way? Or I don't like what they did because, you know, they hurt me. So you want to acknowledge the situation. And then the second step is to name your feelings and to practice self-compassion. Oh, wait, hold on. Yes, sorry. So, for example, like I was saying earlier, you want to kind of just process everything that's going on.
Right.
So, but in order for you to even think rationally, if you're too upset, then go back to number 1, because you can't think straight if you're emotionally triggered. So if you need to, you can like take a break and then come back to it. But if it's too hard, you know, we always talk about using getting connected with a therapist, someone in the mental health field, so that way they can help you. Because if you don't even know how to feel your feelings, or if you're kind of like, I need help with this because, you know, it's keeping me up at night and I'm just like frustrated, then you should probably seek professional help. Just because doing it alone, I think you probably might just re-trigger yourself and you're going to get even
crazy.
Even more mad.
crazier.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be like, listen, say, I just snapped.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So name your feelings and practice self-compassion. And the reason why you want to practice self-compassion is because you're only human. So like, I do a lot of stuff that's kind of mean to my family and to Mike, but I'll use that Mike as an example. And sometimes I say things that are kind of mean, and I was like, well, I guess I probably shouldn't have said that, but I'm not gonna talk about it right now because I'm still too mad, you know, or something like that. And then I'll come back and I'll talk about it. But if you're someone that doesn't know how to feel your feelings, they do have examples online where you can use a feelings chart. You can literally Google it. Yes.
Oh, I was like, that's me.
Oh, yeah, you can. I keep forgetting to give you a copy.
Yeah.
It's basically a chart. If everybody remembers in school, it's like a pie chart. And they have different colors. And you can start from the beginning, in the middle, I should say, because it starts really small. And then as it goes out, the circle broadens out. So it's not really a pie chart. It's a chart. And then, so like you can connect, oh, I am like angry, and then you can connect it out to other words that you can use it for. Frustrated, pissed, you know, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
That can help you, but like I said earlier, you can use a mental health professional too if you can't figure that out. Okay, so now the third step is to let it out. So I don't know, I just think about like those cartoon characters where they hold it in and they turn red and it explode, right?
Yeah.
So that literally can happen to us, but we don't explode. We just we don't really explode. We actually like yell at other people, and then, you know, or like you get really mad. And so if you do it healthily, in a healthy way, then that will help you kind of process everything. And then the fourth step is to establish boundaries. So you would want to communicate your needs and your limits, and if it's okay to keep space for your own mental health and your well-being. Step number 5 is you lean into empathy if appropriate. So like I was saying earlier, if it's something that they did really bad, you know, like those things on Am I the Asshole stuff, some of that stuff you can't forgive. You can't give them any empathy because it's kind of like, that's not, you know, like for the example I'm going to input here is the one that you shared about the husband kicking out the wife for slapping the mom.
Yeah.
Or punching the mom. Yeah.
The pregnant wife.
Yes. So like that kind of situation, you wouldn't be able to lean into empathy because it was inappropriate.
Yeah. There is no empathy because it's like.
I mean, she shouldn't have punched her. Yes, I guess so. But like when you get pushed so many times, then and you're cornered, then that's when you start to
you just
lash
fight
out.
Yeah,
and like I was saying
have to.
earlier, you blow up. So, and then step number 6 is to communicate to create closure. Because guess what? The closure is for you. So it's not for the person
who hurt
did you wrong.
Yeah.
It's for you. Why is forgiveness always talked about? It's because you're stuck in your own poison, like Michelle was saying earlier, and you want to try to move on. So, and you do not have to, here's the thing that you guys will like, you do not have to rebuild your relationship with that person that treated you wrong.
Yes. That
is okay. And the cases that happen a lot in our community, sometimes that can be your parents.
Yep.
Yes.
And that is okay. That is okay. Just don't be dumb about it.
Toxic family members.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Yep. It's okay to let them go. Cut them off.
And then step number 7 is to seek support. Your support system is important. Kind of like how us girls here have each other. I know there has to be somebody that you can trust to vent, because that, guess what, is your support system, you know? And we talked about earlier how forgiveness is not linear. So even though you may have gone through all these steps, you're probably going to have to go through it again if you're like re-triggered and you're still angry about it. Because just because you went through this once and if you forgave, if something, you know, comes up and you're like, oh, that reminds me of the time that that bitch stabbed me in the back, then you can be like, wait, Anna, remember, we're not like that anymore. We're not violent like that. So now have to go through the steps again. So that way you can choose yourself, because in the end, this forgiveness is for you.
Excuse me.
And then also be patient with yourself, because other than just self-compassion, you want to be patient, because it's hard to go through this process and forgive someone because they hurt you, and that basically breaks your trust with yourself and with other people. So just be patient and be kind to yourself. And then the last step of forgiving is to find the lesson and reclaim your power. And the reason why I went like this. The reason why it's so important, it feels kind of like, I mean, I think it's crazy that we always try to find a lesson into it, but so that's why I kind of rolled my eyes when I read this last step, because I think in the Hmong parents' mind, they kind of, at least in my parents, they always tell us like, you know, what did you learn from this kind of thing, and I hate it, but then in here it makes sense, because when you forgive somebody, you bring it can be an empowering thing, because you claim the power back from that person.
Right.
And the lesson that you find, at least in this article that I found, is that you learn now that maybe you needed to improve your communication skills, or maybe you need to learn how to actually set your boundaries and stick to them now. Mm-hmm. And then maybe you also need to
learn how to regulate yourself.
Yeah, learn how to regulate, because if you're like me and you have an anger issue, then maybe you need to regulate your feelings and your emotions a lot more, you know? And remember, it's peace over pain. Peace. Because you want to reclaim that power back. Yes. And then when you find this is some nuggets I found is, when you find the lesson, you reframe it so you can empower yourself for forgiveness. And that's my lesson. What did you guys think about that?
Thank you, Pastor Anna.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know what's going to be like. Thank you.
Don't say
we are all going to join hands and now sing Amazing Grace.
No, we're going to sing E-I-E-I-O. Boom, boom,
Just kidding.
boom, boom, boom. Okay. But for this topic about forgiveness, what did you guys think about it? Did this answer your question or not really?
I guess kind of like 50-50. There was a couple points in there that kind of made me like roll my eyes a little bit. But
and that was because you knew it was the right thing, but you hate it?
Yeah, I guess kind of. Or it's kind of just kind of like, I guess. But I'm like you though. It's like I say, I hold a lot of bitterness, from past stuff that I know shouldn't have happened, or they shouldn't have had done that, and that they know better or whatever. So I do have a little bitterness, towards those people. So, but have I forgiven them? I'm not sure. Like, even though you went through the well-explained steps of how to forgive somebody, it's kind of like, why? I know why I need to forgive them, but it's kind of like, why do I need to use the word forgive? I just feel like the word forgive is not the right word for it. Because it's kind of like, okay, I forgive you for being dumb and stupid.
Okay, that was Melissa's answer. But it's for you.
I know
Yeah.
I know it's for me, but it's just
It's just the way our personality
I know.
is. It's just
I guess if in the end this is kind of more for people that if whatever they did to hurt them, if they're still stuck on it. I think that if you're not stuck on it no more, you have technically, by this example, forgiven them. Do you see what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
So what about you two?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking of, so like me and my ex, the whole situation. So with me and my ex, let me just do a quick backstory. So we dated a long time ago, and then he broke it off. Remember when I had to fucking play Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yes.
Christmas Eve? Y'all know that story. And so I ended up losing Yu-Gi-Oh. Never told me
Yeah.
the reason why we broke up. He left. Woohoo. Years go by, and then out of nowhere, years go by, I find out that he's dating somebody else. Cool, because his creepy ass girlfriend started following me on shit. Don't know why. Anyways, he broke up with his girlfriend, or they broke up, and then he sends me a message on Facebook. Okay. And he's saying that, like, I learned my lesson, yada, 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 can you forgive me? Kind of thing. Okay. Can you forgive me for, like, how stupid I was back in the day? I didn't know anything, and I was stupid, so, can you forgive me for that? I am bitter. I hold a fucking grudge, okay? So I read that, and I'm just like, so you want me to forgive you so you can feel better? That's my thought, because in reality, it's kind of like, it's not, you're only reaching out because you want to feel better,
Yes.
not me.
So that's like I said
You know?
earlier, where this is more the forgiveness part that I'm looking at is you're asking for you're forgiving them from hurting you. So this is him trying to force you to forgive him. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's a no. It's not
Yeah, and so
this example.
So for the longest time, I read that message, and I read it on purpose to leave it on red, so he knows that I read it,
But left him on red.
but left him on red. Did it on purpose. Okay, and so yeah. So I thought about it, and I was like, no, I'm not going to, because again, that's not helping me. You came back into my life again, and you brought all this shit back up.
Yeah.
And so the more and more, months down the road, all this stuff had happened, and then I forgave him because I thought about it, and I was like, I guess this person has changed. So, so yeah, let me just forgive him, because that's what I'm trying to be, a better person, and I'm trying to, start over, and maybe this person is a good friend, is a good person now, so let me just forgive him, kind of thing. But here's one thing about forgiveness, like you said, it's not linear. And so a lot of people think that once they're forgiven, that's that. And they'll be like, quit bringing up shit from the past that I used to do, and that's what they'll say, or that's what he would say to me, and so I've learned that just because that person has forgiven you, you do not dictate how long it takes for me to get over it. I can't just get over it.
Yeah.
Red flag number 100 for you when he said that.
Yeah. And so I think that's one thing with us women, that like we can still forgive them, but again, it's not linear. Okay. I can't just give 100% fully trust you. Again, it doesn't work like that. And then of course all the shit happens, and then afterwards I forgave myself. To this day, I don't know if I guess I've forgiven him, because it's kind of like, I hate to say this, I'm gonna be like Michelle, you stupid, and I forgive you for being stupid. But it's just, you're that type of person, and I forgive you because that's all you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's why I'm
a better
like,
way to
yeah,
put it.
that's all you know, and I'm gonna forgive you because that's what you know. And it wasn't about me, it was about you, honestly, because that's how you grew up, that's how you knew what love was, that's what you know. You know, so I forgave him for that. And then, but for some reason, I just still felt resentment. I still felt bitter, even though I forgave him. And then I thought about it myself, and I was like, you know what, Melissa, I think you have to forgive yourself too. Because you also didn't know a lot. You also, you know, same thing like him. You knew what you knew only, and you need to forgive yourself for that because you felt like you were the failure, but in reality, you just knew what you knew at the time. And so I think that's what I did.
Yes.
What you did there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I think that's forgiveness, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Based on this, yes.
Yeah.
To cease to feel resentment.
Yeah, so now I don't resent
Stu.
that person
That's what it
anymore.
literally said.
I know.
Cease to.
Yeah, so now I don't resent him anymore, but I don't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be your friend.
Yeah.
I'm not going to trust you with
just because
anything.
you forgive someone
Yeah.
doesn't mean you have to
be-
like
yeah.
them.
Right. And so I forgive you, but I don't like you. I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
No.
I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. So yeah, so good job, Melissa.
Yeah.
Good
I
job.
think that's kind of how. Okay. Yeah. She
Yeah.
worded it out the way
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know how other ways
to
to say it,
express it,
except I forgive you because you were stupid. Yeah, because of the two situations I'm thinking of. One of them we all share,
Oh, uh-huh.
and so that's what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
I forgive you because you're just stupid. That's all you know, basically. And then the other one is like past thing, with like a whole like the whole church ordeal.
Oh, uh-huh.
Stuff. Yeah, that's another thing. It's like I forgive you for being dumb and stupid and like that. So, but yeah, so basically same thing. She just worded it
Because
like,
a lot of people
better.
think that, like, when you forgive them, we can still be friends, or we can still talk, act normal.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people have said or have pictured forgiveness to be like. So I didn't even know that I forgive you, but I don't like you.
Yeah.
Was an option.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, that too. Because we all know how our dad is.
Yes.
Because like he's had so many people
Screw him
over, and all he wants to do is still be friends with them.
Yeah.
Even though he's forgiven them, and for us seeing it from the outside, it's like why do you want to be nice to them, type
Yeah.
of thing. And he would always say because I forgive them.
Yeah.
And
And
so-
when I'm like, what?
And it's kind of like, and I think that's also why I've learned why I have this idea where like I don't believe in forgiveness. It's because I see how my dad model it
Yeah.
to where I'm like, I don't want to be like that. It's like I don't want to be nice to that. I don't want to forgive that person if I have to be nice to them,
Yeah.
type of thing.
I think I think that the whole concept of forgiveness, it can be, everybody can see it differently too. So maybe for him to forgive someone, he can still be friends with them.
Yeah.
Even though for you guys, you observe that those individuals deeply hurt him.
Yeah.
And it would be something that is irreversible to even go back into a friendship.
Yeah.
Be cordial, sure, but not like a friendship. And so I get it what you mean.
Yeah, or bend over backwards for those people who did those stuff to you, So it's just kind of I think that's why I feel for so long that forgiveness ain't a thing. Because it's like, because like I said, I saw forgiveness as my dad bending over backwards for those people who did that shit to him. And now, like you said, it's like it's different for some people. And like you said, for the longest time, we didn't know it was okay to forgive somebody but still not like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Just be
know?
like, bye, bitch. You stupid. Bye.
Yeah. So so having this talk now, it's kind of
Opened it up.
opened it up and like cleared how I was thinking of what forgiveness
How you
is.
viewed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how I viewed it. Because I don't know about y'all, but for me, whenever I see our dad do that, like you said, all I saw was weakness. Because it's like, yeah, you forgave them, and now you're over here bending over backwards for them, and it's like, do you not realize those are the same people who screwed you over, and now you're being nice to them, and they see that you're being nice to them, so they're gonna think you're stupid.
Let me ask from your dad's side, or from the I should say the person on the outside looking in. You said that you see that as his weakness. Do you think that you would ever be able to reframe it where you're like, wow, Dad, you're so compassionate to where you were willing to forgive them, and you have that space to give them an opportunity to be friends with you again? Like, would you ever be able to reframe it like that? Because I think that if you can one day do that, then maybe you can understand from his point of view.
I hate you.
Yeah, I had that come to Jesus moment about my dad.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love you too.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, he has, if as a person on the outside looking in, he has a big heart to be able to do that. Because if you think about it, someone betrayed you and you don't want to talk to them no more, right? So if you think about it, that person has a very small mind. For someone to be able to say, I forgive you, there's space here for us to still be friends. Like, that person has a really big heart.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's why, like,
You don't have to change your mind.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
don't
saying
change your mind.
for you to
Yeah.
think
I know.
about that one
I know.
day.
Yeah, now that you said it like that, it's kind of like, because,
Yeah.
like I said, the,
therapy works.
yeah, because I think it's just like, Grant, I wouldn't get emotional now.
It's okay.
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Your turn to cry.
Yeah. Remember, let yourself feel it.
Yeah.
If you need to, we'll give you some couple seconds to be quiet
Yeah.
to feel it. Okay, it's okay. Just let yourself feel it.
Like, wow, I did not think I was going to get emotional about this, but
Yeah.
because for the longest time,
Don't look at her. I'm gonna cry if I look at her.
because all I saw were these people who basically hurt my dad.
Grab tissues. I'm gonna cry. Hold on.
And
In her room.
for like so long, I had this like anger and bitterness towards those people because it's kind of like you said. Because my dad, who has such a big heart and sees the world, or at least those people, through like rose-colored glasses, it's kind of like, how can you forgive those people who hurt you like that? You know, and it's not. Sorry.
Okay.
It's not like by accident or anything. They intentionally found ways to like hurt you. And yet here you are, from my eyes, being so weak and wanting to hold on to those people. You forgave them and still stayed friends with them and still bend over backwards for them when they did all those horrible things to you. So in my eyes, I was very angry and pissed at my dad for forgiving them that way. Like if he had forgiven them and like stopped talking to them or like stopped bending over backwards to help these people, I felt like I probably would have forgiven easier, or I guess understood forgiveness more, because that's how I see it for myself. Because like if you hurt me that badly, and to find peace for myself, I would forgive you, but I would not talk to you or help you in any way. Like you said, I'll be cordial, but I wouldn't go and do how my dad does it.
We're not like that no more back in the days.
But since you had mentioned that about him and how you said you had your coming to Jesus
Yep.
realization of dad, it's just kind of like, well, fuck, you know? And now that I know that it's okay for some people, if that's how they need to do it, then okay. If this is how I need to do it, then it's okay too. So, but back then I was just so, again, bitter and angry that he was like that. Because it's like, and I was so angry at those people for doing that to him. And it's just kind of like, all I saw from then on, because, again, this was like years ago, I was a child. Every time I saw them, all I saw were devil horns on them. Because, again, they hurt our dad.
Yeah.
You know, when he didn't do anything to them except continually support them and continually doing stuff for them, choosing them over us, basically. And I think that's another pointer to it, is how he would always choose the church people over us.
Yeah. So
it would always just piss me off. And so I always saw my dad in this like weak light, because he forgave these people. He bends over backwards over these people. Whereas when it comes to us, our own family, he doesn't do the same. He didn't do the same. So, yeah, I'm kind of rambling. I don't even know what my point is anymore. Forgiveness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to talk about this because I wanted to, like I said, I've been thinking about forgiveness these past couple weeks. And majority of it was forgiving myself, forgiving the younger Anna for being so hard on herself. Because I had realized that I love so deeply and I care so much for my family and my friends that I never took time for myself, because I had a lot of regrets. And I felt like, you know, I could have done this, I could have done that, you know. And then I just like thought, like one day I was like, it's okay. Like one day it just clicked for me, and I was like, you know what? I forgive you, Anna, because, you know, you only did what you knew, and you know, you're only human, and the main thing is to move on from this, and then, you know, just treat other people with compassion and try to, you know, just like be a better person. And then if you also outwardly just be a better person towards other people too, will just come around. Because like I say all the time, I really believe in good karma too. There's bad karma, but there's also good karma. And I'm not doing it in hopes that I get good karma. I just think that like life is so short, and I just want to like, you know, push for things to be better. So
Yeah. Like when I had my come to Jesus moment with Dad, it was like or like when I realized that I think I forgave him and I didn't realize I forgave him, was like, because my therapist was all like, why don't you write a letter to your dad? You know, and I'm like, okay. So I wrote the whole letter, you know, I cried about it and stuff like that. And then I really, really thought about it, and I was like, you know, he's been through so much shit. You know, and I'm like, I understand why the way that he is.
and his mindset.
Yeah, and his mindset is. And so therefore I was like, you know what? I mean, yeah, you can take it personally, which, you know, obviously I took it personally a lot, especially during the rough times that I've had with my dad. But then now that I'm older, I'm kind of like, wow, you know, he only knew what he knew.
Yeah.
You know, and therefore I can't be mad at it anymore, because if it was me and I was him, I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's when I guess I didn't really say it out loud, and I didn't really think about it either, but that anger kind of just like
Disappeared.
That
And, like,
ghost on your shoulder disappeared.
Yeah, it just disappeared. And then ever since then, like, I'm really protective of my mom. I think, you know, everybody knows that I'm really protective of my mom, but I'm also really protective of my dad too. You know, because every time people say shit, and I'm just kind of like, say it again.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like, we will fight.
yeah, it's like we will fight. Okay, I don't care if you are a
Me and my four,
An aunt or
4'10",
uncle or
what
even
is
their
it?
sibling.
Yeah.
3/4.
Yeah.
yeah,
4 10 and 3/4.
yeah. Like, say it again. You know, I'm really protective of my mom, but when it comes to my dad, I'm very protective. I had a dream about him the other day that he passed. Knock on wood. And oh my god, I woke up crying.
Aww. Well, most superstitions say that just means that he'll get sick, but he'll get over it quickly.
Yeah. I think
Mm-hmm.
with Liz talking just now, with me being randomly emotional about what I was just talking about with Dad, I think that's also a reason why I what is it? Dang it, I lost my train of thought. What is it? How Liz said that how she's very protective of mom and extremely protective of dad. I don't think I realized that about myself towards my parents, and I think it's because I stayed away from the whole toxic church environment for so long that I just forgot.
Oh, yeah.
I just forgot that feeling.
Yeah.
So, but I think I did that to myself because I was tired of being in that toxic environment. I didn't want to be there, so I kept myself away from it to the point where I forgot my feelings of why I stayed away from it, and I forgot my feelings of overprotectiveness of my parents because of that. So I guess whenever I started talking earlier, it kind of just all came back up. And yeah, and Liz is coming to Jesus thing for Dad. So
I was gonna say that the way that you were talking about Dad, it did sound like you were overprotective of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it sounded like you were talking about one of your sons.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. So I guess I just forgot that feeling.
oh,
So
and they're just getting older now. I personally haven't been able to. I mean, you guys know my personal issues. I haven't been able to get there yet. But there is a part of me that has slowly forgiven. So that's why I'm like, for me, the forgiveness theme, that's what I'm on. Right, I'm on the forgiveness train. Choo choo.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like after I forgave my dad and I kind of talked to him, like, because ever since I moved out and all that stuff, it's not constant yelling at each other anymore. And so now I get to finally talk to him kind of like an adult. I am an adult.
Yeah.
But I can talk to him as an adult.
yeah,
Of course.
And then he kind of talks back to me as an adult. There are some times where he does say something stupid,
yeah,
but I'm just kind of like,
You know, that's just him.
that's just him
Yeah.
being stupid. But yeah, you know, it kind of changes your relationship when you finally look at your parents differently
When you look at them as
as a
actual
human
people.
being. Yeah, as a human being. That this
Yeah.
is somebody's. I'm on grief TikTok. I don't know why, but I'm on grief TikTok, and it's a lot of parents who see their mom again, and you get to see how much of a child they are.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mm.
And then I'm just like, oh my god, they're just kids, honestly, because I think I'm a kid. And so, like, imagine seeing your parents be kids to their moms and stuff. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, we just cry on here all the time. God damn.
No, but it's okay for us to unpack this kind of stuff because, like, we don't, talk about it. A lot of, I see a lot that the young kids these days, like, they really have a lot of friction with their parents. And it's hard for them to see them as as human beings and not just parents. Because as a parent title, you're kind of on a pedestal.
yeah,
And it's hard to be like, okay, I guess they're human and, they can, like, have spouts of, like, fits too or whatever,
yeah.
But especially the generation that we are, our parents went through a lot of shit. They literally survived a war,
Yeah.
you
They
know.
had no childhood.
Yeah, they
had
didn't have
nothing.
anything. It doesn't give them an excuse to be shitty,
Yeah.
But we should see that and be more understanding.
Of course.
Yeah.
of it,
Okay.
know.
Of course, and then there are some relationships that cannot be repaired, and that's okay too. But hopefully those that are struggling right now with their parents and, there's a lot of conflicts. If you need to, you like maybe just get out of that space and like if you're able to live somewhere else or because, I think it's, going back to the conversation that you had when you moved out, I think that it helped that there was space.
Yeah.
Because, it's just like any human being. Like, if you're stuck with people and you see them all the time, you're going to get annoyed of them,
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Or if that person's not healing themselves and they just come and they bleed onto you constantly for no freaking reason.
Yeah.
You got to get out.
I need to wash myself off. I got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm kind of curious, Molly. What do you think about this whole forgiveness thing? I know you probably... I'm like... because I know you didn't have any, like, from the previous episode, you didn't have any, like, friendships that ended badly to where you had to worry. So I'm wondering if you have anything that you would want to seek forgiveness or anything.
I don't think so. I think these two had more of an impact on that.
Mm-hmm.
But like they said, with how Dad forgives people, even though I was like maybe me and Matthew were probably the last ones to hang out with them, like when they go partying and stuff, and you can see it on the ones that you can say that forgave my dad, and then the ones that still have that, what do you call it, friction from what they did to him.
Mm-hmm.
So
You can see it on their face.
Like their embarrassment.
Yeah,
and stuff
you can
like
see
that.
it. Because you know how Dad is, and then like usually when he meets those people that screw him over, there's usually like a pause before he says something, and then you can kind of see them two looking at each other, and you can see that friction to see what they're gonna do. But majority of the time, you can, like I said, who the people that
Let's get
embarrassed.
ready to rumble.
Yeah, you can see who are the ones that are embarrassed to see him.
Yeah,
but yet
who
are
were in the wrong.
who are in the wrong, and they're still surprised that he's willing to be friendly with them.
Oh.
And then there are the ones that knew what they did wrong, and they basically forgave themselves from what they did to Dad.
Because then that's like going back to the whole thing of him having a big heart, because since he gives them that space, then they also, if they do, forgive too.
Yeah, because you can see the ones that did forgive him do pretty often hang out with him, like during those parties and
Or
stuff.
they'll be the first ones to come and say hi.
Come and say hi, yes.
Because a lot of ones, if they are embarrassed, it's always my dad who has to go out first.
Yeah, go out to them
Aw.
first. But the majority of the ones that have forgiven him and are already in good terms, they'll come up to say hi to him
hi to
and
him.
also to us sometimes if they're willing to come up to us. Because they are aware of that we were also there during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Your dad. Yeah, he has a really big heart. And that's good. And I just thought about it now when you were talking about it. That if you think about it, he's breaking cycles.
Yeah, he kind of is.
Traditions.
Because, like, whenever you stepped out of the Hmong Christianity thingy, there's a lot of stuff that people think that Dad's a pushover, because people think that he's a people. I mean, okay, he is kind of a people pleaser a little bit, but he knows his boundaries.
Or he knows, like, no, that's what I want.
Yeah, like, there's some things where they'll try to have my dad do something for them, like, illegally.
Yeah.
But my dad would be like, no, I'm not doing that for you.
He's good at
I'm not
standing
gonna
his
go
ground.
to jail.
And he has
for that.
morals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what a lot of people dislike about him, too, and that they'll try to do that onto him. And so, yeah, he does have a big heart, but at the same time, he's kind of like, no, I'm not going to go to jail for you. I'm going to put boundaries up and say no.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that he's
Yeah.
good at he's breaking cycles if you think about it, because, I always praise your mom about, how Mike is, but it also is how your dad is too, because that's why Michael is so damn stubborn.
Yeah.
I think
You know?
also my mom also has struggled with Dad too, where she probably doesn't realize how big of a heart he really does have to forgive all those people.
It's
Mom's
because she's
mean.
protective.
Yes,
Yeah.
She's protective of Dad. That's why she's like, I'll fight those people with her Aries ass energy.
Yes.
Because she'll, like, even back then when we went to parties and me and Matthew would be just there with her, she would just go over and be like, there's that evil woman over there.
Oh my God.
And I was like, evil woman? She's like, yeah.
The
that
thing
one
about
right
an
there.
Aries is they'll fight. They'll be mad for their partner,
Uh-huh.
But then they're so loyal, they will stick beside them. That's why she's
Yeah.
still there.
Yeah.
It's just funny because she'll every time we go somewhere, that's what she'll be like. Shit, there's that crazy woman over
She
there.
still does that now.
That's what I said. She still does it till this day.
She'll be all bark, but she won't bite unless necessary. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how all of us are.
Mm.
So, yeah, so, I don't know. Forgiveness is,
That was good. Yeah, forgive,
thing.
guys. Share this prescription of forgiveness, and also with others, and also with yourself.
Mhm.
And we appreciate you listening to us. On this episode,
Sniffling and snorting.
sniffling. If you like more stuff like this, let us know. Comment below on this video, or if you're listening on Spotify, respond back to the Q&A. So we appreciate you, and we look forward to listening and talking to you soon. Bye.
Bye.